back, everyone. It is the Swoop, your favorite sports talk show, live here at the Cooling Center at Bowling Green State University. I am your host, Autumn Stevens, with the man, the myth, the legend, Zach Carrion, a very sad Lions fan, Cameron Flynn, and the newly 21-year-old Ryan Schroedbeck. Happy birthday. And he's also dressed like a back-to-school commercial. So we want to keep everyone to keep in mind that you can tweet us with your questions, #swoopin, to join the conversation and ask us the tough questions that these guys might not want to answer about their favorite teams. But we got to keep it local this week. So starting with BGSU football, we wanted a change. We waited for a change, and the defensive coordinator was fired. So is it something that we can look forward to for next season? Is there anything that we're going to see as far as a big change?
I wouldn't expect a big change next year. Yeah, the coach is a part of why the defense was so bad this year and the year before that, but I don't think it's going to be an overnight change at all. We really were a terrible defense this season. We were 125th overall in total defense, and we gave up around 38 points a game. So that's not going to change overnight, but I think it is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, like you said, step in the right direction. They fired the defensive coordinator, Perry Iliano, and the team was among the worst in college football defensively. Like you said, 38 points per game, over 500 yards per game. That's shocking. And what it speaks to me as is them giving Mike Jinks one more year to kind of find his guy. Like you said, it falls on the defensive coordinator, but it also falls on the coach too. That you got to get your guy in there that you're confident in. So maybe one more year, maybe two, if they can figure it out. But it is a step in the right direction. We'll see if it works out.
I don't know, Zach. I think you were looking over my shoulder while I was making my notes because you stole my two statistics that I was going to mention. Oh, geez, now you're making it tough on me. But I think there's a problem with firing a defensive coordinator and not firing the offensive coordinator. The offense just had as many problems as the defense this year. I mean, you look at time of possession, near last in the football bowl schools, I think. That's what they're called, something like that. But that's a problem when your defense is always on the field as well. So your defense can only do so much if your offense can give your defense a rest. So, I mean, take it as you will. The defense played terrible, but you can't stop everybody every single time. But, I mean, there's always going to be room for improvement, and I think defense definitely needs to take a step forward next year.
Do you think this was a move by Jinks to kind of save himself? You think so?
A little bit. It's also, I think Jinks realized what had happened this year, and he feels that they could be a lot better on defense, and I think they can be.
The offseason is far from over, too. We could see more changes on the offensive side of the coaching staff, defensive side of the coaching staff. That the offense started to peak a little at the end of the year. They got better quarterback play from Jarrett Dagey. Their running game started to emerge a little bit as it did 2 years ago near the end of the year. Firing the defensive coordinator, hopefully that helps take down that points per game total a little bit, yards per game, and that'll hopefully help the time of possession as well. But I think it's far from over seeing the off-season changes for BGSU football.
Well put. I was waiting. I know that's kind of a hot topic for us around here. We know volleyball is over for the season. How did they finish out, Ryan, for us?
They lost in a 5-set match to Green Bay at home. Tough way to end the season. Still a great season by Bowling Green standards. Obviously, they think they could have been a lot better, but they're going to come back next season, only losing one senior, Nicole Slimko. They're going to be still a young team, still have a lot of freshmen that can contribute. It's going to be nice for Coach Tilmich and the squad to get back at it, and I'm excited for next season already.
Awesome. Well, we can now take our attention to basketball because men's play tonight, women's play tomorrow at 11 a.m. Guys said we have Dylan Fry and Justin Turner to look out for tonight. Obviously, usual suspects, but what else can we expect out of the game tonight?
Well, you can definitely look out for Roger Caldwell, the point guard. I believe he's averaging at least 4 assists a game for the past 6 games. So he's on hot streak right now. You're going to want to look out for him.
Yeah, also DiMaggio Wiggins. He's been probably one of the most consistent players on the team, averaging around 15 points a game. Around there, a little less maybe, and always getting those boards. They're a team that can score from a multitude of angles. They can score inside the post. They can score from the outside as well. Like you said, Justin Turner, Dylan Fry. Last 2 games, they've had 27 and 28 respectively. So that offensive firepower comes from everywhere. They just got to tighten it up a little bit defensively, and they'll be all right.
The team has been looking really impressive. They've already matched their win total on the road this season with 3 wins. That's something that is critical in college basketball, winning on the road. You know, it's easier to always win at home, but to do it on the road at tough venues, it's nice to see for Bowling Green. Looking at it right now, they shot 56% from the three-point line against Norfolk. They went 14 of 25. Their three-point shooting has been phenomenal this season. One of the tops in the country, one of the tops in the MAC. Dylan Fry and Justin Turner leading the way for the Falcons. This young team is looking impressive so far, but they got to be able to keep it up. Got to be able to play a little better defense as well.
And they got a lot of young guys, but we do have Antoine Lillard returning from his suspension. He has been a consistent scorer for BG for a number of years, so to have him back on the court is definitely a positive.
I definitely would say that the win against FGCU was a good springboard into the season, the rest of the season, I should say. It's a good outlook for this team. Switching gears a little bit, a lot of things happened this week in college football. So the college playoff list, we have Clemson sitting at number 1, Oklahoma at 2, 3 is Georgia, and 4 is Alabama. My personal opinion, we should have threw UCF in there to get everyone a little riled up. But what do you guys say?
Oh, okay. I'll tell you that. I don't think UCF should have been in there. As much as they're a good story, they won by the skin of their teeth a lot of those games. Here's what should happen. It should go to 8 teams. The 5 Power 5 conferences should get an automatic bid if you win the conference, and then 3 at-large bids. And then the group of 5 should go off and create their own kind of playoff. I think that would be the best for college football going forward.
You know, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit there. I do agree with the fact that an 8-team playoff or an expanded playoff should be implemented. But what we've seen over the last 3 or 4 years with the college football playoff is zero consistency from the committee. You see, the first 2 years of the playoff, they really valued conference championships. Ohio State got in because of their big win versus Wisconsin, 59-0. TCU got bumped because the Big 12 didn't have a conference championship. 2015 was the same way. The last 2 years, however, Ohio State got in last year without a conference championship. Penn State, arguably one of the better teams in the country last year, was bounced, even with a conference championship. This year, Ohio State, same story, was bounced. Alabama got in without making it to their conference championship. So consistency has been really lacking from the College Football Playoff Committee. They're putting in whoever they want, and an 8-team playoff would fix that. Conference championship should hold validity, so the 5 Power 5 conference champions should get in, and then I think we should have 2 at-large bids, and then a group of 5 bid.
Let's be honest, the group of 5 is not going to win, though. What's the point of throwing them in if they have no chance?
The point of that is nobody knows that it's never happened.
You know, the group of 5 doesn't have. Their teams are far less superior than the Power 5.
Syracuse beat Clemson.
They're in the Power 5.
That was one game.
They're in the Power 5. Syracuse is in the Power 5.
I would argue that UCF is better than Syracuse.
Syracuse is in the Power 5.
He's got a point.
I would argue that UCF is better than Syracuse, though. That's the argument I'd be making.
Yeah, but Syracuse isn't making the playoff.
Give them a chance. That's my argument.
Syracuse isn't making
the
playoff.
Give who a chance? Wait.
The group of 5.
You think
you think
UCF could beat Alabama?
No, but I'd like to see that game.
I wouldn't. I'd rather see a 16-team group of 5 playoff than a Power 5.
It's almost a surprise that no one wants to broadcast this game because I feel like a ton of people would watch it anyways. You know what I'm saying? To see Alabama play UCF, the UCF story, like you said, is incredible. So maybe it's just us saying it, but yeah, they're not going to win.
If we play all those games, we're going to have college football into February. That's ridiculous.
No.
So you take away the Alabama versus Mercers. You take away the Clemson versus
just change the whole
South
regular
Dakota
season
State
too.
University.
But take away, like you said, take away the games that we obviously know are going to be blowouts, and the teams that Wisconsin played in the beginning, we knew they were going to win. And so when they came up to the Ohio State game, we didn't know. You know what I mean? We didn't know. It could have gone either way. I don't know.
So I mean,
here's the thing: UCF is like a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament. They're never going to beat that number 1 seed, no matter. They'll win probably 99 out of 100, but it's not going to happen. That's why the group of 5 needs to go off.
You never know.
I do know that. Let's face it.
All right, Zach.
The group of 5 doesn't have a chance.
Let's hear it.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with everybody. I'm fine with the 4-team playoff. I do agree with you, though, that they are very inconsistent with how they pick their teams. That being said, I am very satisfied with this top 4. I think all 4 of these teams are very deserving. I think expanding it to 8 would be ridiculous. I mean, we'd be getting Wisconsin in there after they got beat by Ohio State. They don't deserve a shot at it. We'd have Auburn in there after losing the conference championship. They don't deserve a shot at it.
Beat Alabama, though.
I would say USC, reasonable shot at it, but I think an 8-team playoff is way too much, and I'm fine with 4.
All right.
Well, the contract's up, I believe, until 2021, so they have a bunch of time to figure it out.
We're all entitled to our opinions, but some of us are
some of them are wrong.
wrong.
So we'll end it with the fact that there should be 8 teams. We're just going to end it with that. We'll leave
No.
Zach in the dark.
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
we'll debate. We'll come back. So
Sorry,
you'll
Zach.
definitely have to come back next semester because we'll find out if we'll continue with that. Maybe we'll change Zach's mind over winter break. But going on to the NFL, we had a big play. You knew this was coming up. Gronkowski had a delayed hit, unnecessary roughness, and was suspended for 1 game. Do you think it should have been more?
Absolutely, it should have been more. 1 game, that's ridiculous. For what he did,
Yeah.
that's a dirty play. That's clear-cut,
Well,
dirty play.
You see, Josh Gordon was suspended pretty much for 2 to 3 years for just violating the substance abuse policy. He wasn't hurting anybody else. There was no defenseless player on that. Gronkowski led with his elbow, and he could have caused serious. You saw what happened to Ryan Shazier last night. That he may still not have feeling in his legs. That a hit like that from a man that's over 250 pounds, full force coming into a defenseless player, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Isn't he's like 6'7" too?
6'7", 250, a huge man, barreling down on a guy on the ground. It's unacceptable.
I don't think he should be suspended for more than 1 game. I mean, it's kind of the same as Mike Evans going after the Jameis Winston and stuff like that. Those instances are very eerily the same. I mean, you're going in with malicious intent. So, I mean, you got to be consistent. 1 game, I think, was fair enough for Gronkowski. Do I still think it's a dirty play? Of course I do. I still don't think it was right by Gronkowski to do it, but you've got to be consistent when you have malicious content.
But
It was probably
that
called
goes
by the
against
book,
it goes against everything the NFL stands for.
Yeah.
You understand that, right?
Yeah,
so
Mike
why
Evans
is it
did
1
the
game?
same thing, though, too. You got to understand that.
I think the
But
problem
I think we
lies
should
more
have
in the
learned
rule.
from that as well. I think there's a certain level where it should have been more than 1 game because there was no need.
Should have got more
Well,
than
I
1
think
game?
the problem lies in the rule itself and how they judge how many games a player should be suspended for. That I'm going to bring up another example, the Ezekiel Elliott case, where he was suspended for 6 games, whereas another player, Ray Rice, I think was originally suspended for 2.
Yeah.
So the consistency that I think they're trying to find a place where they need a consistent punishment for a crime. That, like I said, they probably did rule it by the book. That they probably a 1 game suspension is the book for a malicious hit. That I think there needs to be room for kind of creating another scenario where if it is such a malicious hit, maybe more games are needed.
And I agree because Gronkowski is not your average NFL player. He's a star. Everybody's watching him. And when people see an NFL guy like Gronk doing something like that, it's a bad look for the entire league.
Right.
So I think they need to come down harder on him. And especially, there is no consistency with the way Goodell suspends players. He suspended Tom Brady 4 games for suspicion of deflating balls. He couldn't even prove it. He just suspended him because he could.
The whole NFL system is flawed in that regard. Ezekiel Elliott's going to get let off in the judicial court system, and he's still suspended 6 games. The Cowboys are completely out of the playoff picture now. Well, they're not completely out, but they're most likely out. They can't score on offense. That their whole team, their season's deflated because Ezekiel Elliott was the star, and he's gone, and he's not even going to be ruled in a judicial court. So the whole system is flawed with the NFL, and you can see it in the ratings. All the stars are getting injured. They're getting suspended. That the NFL's falling off, and if they don't do something about it quick, it's gonna take even worse of a turn.
So another NFL team that we can talk about, the Giants. They're struggling a little bit. So we have Eli Manning that was benched, and Ben McAdoo was fired. So what's going on over there for the Giants?
That's a good question. I don't know if we can answer that one real fast, but it doesn't look pretty. McAdoo fired, Manning bench. I don't know why you bench your 2-time Super Bowl champion / 2-time Super Bowl MVP Eli Manning. I know he hasn't played the best, but you got to look at what's around him. O-line is trash. The receivers are all hurt. He doesn't have anybody to pretty much throw to. That situation is not Eli's fault. That is the front office and the head coach's fault, not Eli's.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not like Eli Manning has been Peyton Manning over the last couple of years. He has been in the bottom half of football statistics for quarterbacks. The problem lies with who they benched him for. Geno Smith is not a good NFL quarterback. He's proven that. He is a proven backup. Davis Webb is their rookie from a couple years ago. Hasn't gotten a shot in the NFL. Why not start him? See what he has before you draft a Sam Darnold or a Josh Rosen in the upcoming draft. Why are you starting a quarterback that has been proven to be a backup? That it's unacceptable. And the president of football operations for the Giants made the right move in firing not only the head coach, Ben McAdoo, but the GM of football operations as well. And not to try to bring the Lions into the mix, but I will anyway. That needs to happen. This is unacceptable what's going on in Detroit. You have a top 5 quarterback in the league, arguably. You have a great secondary. You have playmakers on both sides of the ball. And you didn't call a timeout when there was 9 guys on the field. It's unacceptable football. You don't throw challenge flags. You don't call timeouts. And you come out of every game spotting a team 17-point leads. It's unacceptable. Jim Caldwell should be gone yesterday.
Wow. Well, since we're talking about firing coaches, it must be so nice for the Giants to have 2 wins in a season. I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
really.
I wonder what that's like.
I've only felt 1 win in the past 2 seasons, and we still have the same coach. But that's besides the point. Look.
You can trust the process all you want.
We're still talking about Eli Manning. All right, Eli Manning. You cannot bench Eli Manning this season. I don't care how bad you're doing. That guy, what he did for your franchise,
You owe him.
that's completely disrespectful. And that you cannot stand for that. You let him finish out the year, trade him at the end of the season, whatever you have to do. But benching him during the regular season like this, it's not the right move.
I agree.
So, Zach, talk about your Browns a little bit.
Do I have to? Do I have to talk about the Browns?
Absolutely. I mean, there's not really much to talk about, honestly, but is there anything you wanted to add? Because I know it's your thing.
Fire Hugh Jackson this week. Just do it. Let's just get it over.
Josh Gordon looked pretty good in his return.
Josh Gordon looked great in his return.
For a guy who hasn't stepped on a football field in about 3 years, he looked great. I added him to my fantasy team for the playoffs.
Absolutely. It's the smartest move you can do.
Hey, he looked pretty good. Hopefully he'll add some chemistry with Deshaun Kaiser. Him and the tight ends, Seth DeValve and Njoku, they've had some good chemistry over the last couple weeks that, the offense is starting to click. The defense has kind of, shown its young self the last couple weeks. But, there's promise. I think they'll get a win next year.
I think Josh Gordon finished a little bit, $3 million short of the fantasy projection.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Well, people have off games. Look, Josh Gordon, I'm so glad he's back. He is the greatest receiver of all time. I'm just going to say it right now.
Okay.
Just, looking into the future, he is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Quarterback?
I mean, wide receiver.
Brown's got a good quarterback.
Hey, look, he could probably play quarterback too, to be honest with you.
Josh Gordon goes deep to Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon, he's the most talented guy in the NFL. There's no other wide receiver in NFL history that led the entire league in receiving after being suspended and having
like 14
multiple
games, I think, something like that.
Well, he only played 14 games instead of regular 16 and did not have a consistent quarterback and was on a bad team and still led the league in receiving. There's no other player like that.
Yeah, we'll never know.
Since we'll stay on NFL for a second, I just want to get your guys' thoughts. Since we will be gone for break, we won't be able to talk about the Super Bowl too much. So who do you guys have for the Super Bowl before we end for break?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about the Super Bowl.
I know, it's a little far off, I know.
We got to skip a couple weeks.
Okay.
So.
True.
Oh.
Just right now. I know it's kind of far out. It's far out, but yeah.
Let's do some playoff predictions. Who are the top 2 or 3 teams per conference that you think have the best shot? Let's start with AFC.
Okay, AFC, Patriots.
Always.
Steelers.
Oh, well.
Steelers overrated.
Who else is leading in the AFC right now?
That's it. So.
Is that it?
That's it.
All in the West, they're all like 6 and 6.
I mean, I kind of have to tend to agree. My Jaguars pick isn't looking as hot. Their defense, they still got a good defense.
Yeah.
Blake Bortles has kind of shown Blake Bortles over the past couple weeks. The Patriots have had the Steelers' number. Ben Roethlisberger is hinting towards his retirement more. That I think he's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That team has arguably the best talent in the NFL. Coaching is Mike Tomlin, doesn't get his team ready to play. Go down 17-3 to the Bengals. Still win. But I think the Patriots are, after their sluggish start to the season, they're ahead in the race for the AFC Championship.
Patriots Seahawks rematch of Super Bowl a couple
Really?
years back. Let's see it get done.
Okay. Fine.
I'm a
All right, that's all I got.
fan.
What about the
There it
NFC? 2 or 3 teams in the NFC. We
NFC.
saw the Eagles falter last week against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Seahawks are a solid team. I would not be surprised if the Seahawks did actually make it back to the Super Bowl.
I agree. I think
Thanks,
the Seahawks played their best game of the year. Their offensive line finally started to protect Russell Wilson. But I think that defense is too beat up. Richard Sherman's out. I believe Cam Chancellor's out as well.
Correct.
So I don't know. I think the Falcons are playing some good football now. I don't think their offense is, quite where it was last year.
Amazing defense, though.
So I think the Vikings, though,
Oh.
after they beat the Lions convincingly, I think the Vikings and the Eagles are going to be the teams to beat in the NFC.
I think the Rams. You got to watch out for the Rams too. Don't forget
You
about
think
the
so?
Rams.
You really
They're
believe?
1 year away.
I do.
They're 1 year
I
away
think
from being
you got to
really,
watch out
really
for
good.
the Rams. McVay's a good coach. Goff's a good quarterback. Watch out.
All right, now we're just talking nonsense over here. Last
Great.
question for you guys before we move on to our hashtag swoop in questions from all of our viewers tonight. So, is it too late for Tiger Woods?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so he's been out for a while, but do you think him coming back so late is ideal for him?
No, it's not ideal for anybody.
No, there's multiple sides for it. I'm a big golfer. I've played golf
You're in the
for
middle.
10 to 15 years. So
Good one, Ryan.
Thanks.
yeah.
Watch yourself over there, Cameron.
I think it's ambiguous the way, is he coming back? I mean, obviously he's back. He played 4 rounds of golf, 3 good rounds of golf, and 1 not so good. You're going to expect that with a guy who hasn't played in 308 days. So he showed promise. He showed he could hit some good shots. His driver is back. His obviously went away in the 3rd round. But, I think he's like 15 or 20 to 1 to win the Masters this year for a guy who's played like once. He might only play 1 or 2 more times before the Masters. That, he owns that course. That I don't think he's going to win another major championship. I don't think he'll get to 18 and catch Jack. But it's always a great thing to see. I was cooped up in my dorm room watching that golf tournament for the first time in about a year, watching Tiger Woods, and it was fun to watch. So
Tiger's back. Let's say that. Tiger is back. Golf is more of a mental game than it is a physical game. Tiger Woods can be
not for Tiger Woods.
It's all physical for Tiger
Not for
Woods.
Tiger Woods.
I know. No.
Do you agree?
Golf in general is a more of a
So what are you
mental
talking
game.
about, Ryan? Get
What's
to
the point you're trying to make?
I'm trying to say if he gets his head right and doesn't get distracted,
back.
he can be.
You're counting on Tiger Woods to get his head
So-
right. He hasn't had his head right in 10 years.
I'm saying if he does, he could be back. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so Tiger
I
Woods
say
is
he could be back. Why not?
You have to
Give
show
guy
you the
a
dash
shot.
cam footage
Give
from a year ago.
A year ago? That was
I
like
think
5 years ago.
I
The
think
dash,
Oh yeah, that one.
the other one.
The other one.
Well, I think the jury's still out on that.
Oh,
let's let him
what?
play. He was
Please,
playing
he'll
on
be
a
fine.
course in a tournament that he created, the Hero World Challenge.
Yeah.
That he owns that and runs that golf tournament. That it's a course that he is very familiar with. A pretty wide open course. There's not a lot of rough, not a lot of trees. So put him on a course like Torrey Pines or Augusta. We'll see how he turns out. So
basically what it comes down to is Ryan says Tiger Woods is back, just like his back to school outfit. So let's move on. Let's move on to our hashtag
right.
swoop in questions. So we actually had a few viewers tweet us. So our first question is, did Alabama football deserve the 4th spot in the CFB college football playoff over Ohio State?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, sure.
The best way for Ohio State to get in is not to lose to Iowa by
Can we-
30 plus.
Can we talk
Facts.
about how I read that literally
Or they
instead
could
of,
have scheduled Mercer instead of Oklahoma.
did you like that?
They could have, yeah,
So,
but they didn't.
They didn't. So
It's unfortunate.
Urban
They
Meyer's
lost
fault.
2 games. Alabama only lost 1. Alabama's probably the better team.
plus they wanted
Right.
to see Alabama Clemson Part 3. So I didn't want to see that, but apparently
I don't
everybody
think
else did.
anybody wants to see that. Somebody does,
So,
not me.
yeah.
All right.
I would like to see BG in there.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Door's that way.
Yeah, the
So,
door is that way.
Sorry, I'm a Falcon fan.
Get back to school, Brian.
Put the whole, around the whole
All right,
meat on
so
it.
Wow. Rough crowd today.
will BG basketball make it to the NIT?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe they can make it to the
100%.
NIT, maybe even the NCAA
Confidence
tournament.
level. What is
That-
your,
Would
the
you
confidence
agree?
is up here right now.
what is it? What
I
is
would match
percentage
that
wise
confidence.
Percentage-wise,
Where are you at
98.2%.
that they make? Okay.
The NIT or the NCAA?
Both.
Oh, combined, so like 40% and 40?
Yeah,
Something
40%
like that.
they make it to the NCAA tournament. Another 40 that says they can make it to the NIT, and then another 20 says they don't make anything.
We're just saying anything
They
we
lose the
want.
rest
We
of the
are
day,
Yes.
very
I won't comment on that.
optimistic.
But I think that they have a good chance if they're playing like
Yeah.
they are right now to get in some sort of tournament that means something and play some meaningful basketball in March. So
Yeah, they have the talent, and they're only getting better as the games go by. So I have confidence in this team. We'll see when they have to go into the MAC. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I got to see how they play in the MAC before I can really judge how this team is.
as long as we've got confidence in them. Good luck to our BG men's
what I
basketball
just
team.
said.
They take the court tonight at 7 p.m. So hopefully everyone can make it out tonight at the Stroh Center. It should be a good game. So we will see. Our next, actually, from the same viewer.
Oh, wow.
It says,
This guy tweeted a lot.
why does, why, so funny, Garrett. Why does the kid, why does the kid on the right look like,
All right.
why does he
We're
look like
done.
he's dressed for a back to school commercial at Target?
Good one.
So,
Our
last-
Let's skip that. We gotta make
Okay.
predictions this
Why?
week.
all
hey.
right, all right, last question. From Zach Herrig on Twitter, it says, is Matthew Stafford elite?
Yes.
Cameron, I'll take that for you.
I think you guys can disagree with me, but it has been over 50 games without a 100-yard rusher. He has a peewee head football coach. He has a absolutely horrible organization to play for. He took over an 0-6 team, and all he's done is win. That he has a winning record in his lifetime as a Detroit Lion, I believe. It's
so.
absolutely incredible with the guys that he has around him, with the horrible defenses that he had, that he's carried team on his back, that he completed 20 straight passes at one point in the Baltimore Ravens game last week, and they still lost by 20-some points. That he's an elite quarterback, that you put him, if the Broncos are looking for a quarterback, if they put Matthew Stafford on that team, that's probably one of the better teams in the NFL. So he's elite, but, not to the level of Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, that they're super elite. I'll make another category.
So there's elite and then there's super elite.
Well, there's
Elite A, Elite B.
there's super elite guys
Okay.
that have
Who's in super elite?
won Super Bowls and
Okay.
can carry a team.
Okay.
That's Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers right now.
And Joe Flacco.
No. There's guys that can carry their teams to a win. Drew Brees. Well, I don't know. Drew Brees. He's kind of
Brees
getting
is
up there.
he's super elite, yeah.
He's super elite too. Russell Wilson.
Super
He's won a Super Bowl with the team. So I mean, wins aren't a quarterback.
We're just
stat,
throwing
but-
anybody in there, I feel like.
Well, then there's 5. That's 5.
Fine,
That's
let's-
where Matt
okay.
Stafford's
Let's
Matt
get-
Stafford is outside of the top 5?
He's right around 5. That he is not in the won a Super Bowl range because he hasn't won a playoff game, but he
Yeah,
can
that'll hurt
carry
you.
he can carry a team to a win. That nobody can argue that. So
Yeah, I was going to disagree, but he made some valid points. Yeah,
Well,
sure, he's
soiled
elite.
it.
Why
He
not?
soiled it. All right, so
He's not going to
elite.
win
We
a
can all
playoff
agree on
game
that
this year,
one.
but he's
Thank
elite, sure.
Goodness.
unfortunate.
All right, Cameron, let's predictions. Let's
All
hear
right,
it.
so I got a couple NFL football games this week. We got on Thursday, we got the 9-3 Saints taking on the Falcons in Atlanta. Who you got?
Falcons.
The
I-
Birds.
All right.
I think it depends on if Marshawn Lattimore plays. That Julio Jones, a couple games ago he had a really insane.
He's on a
game.
hot streak.
So I think it depends if Lattimore plays. If Lattimore plays, I'll take the Saints. If he doesn't, I'll take the Falcons.
I'll take the Falcons as well. Like we said earlier, defense is doing pretty well for themselves. So
All right, we got the two another hot teams in the NFC. We got the Vikings at 10-2, and we got the Panthers at 8-4.
I like the way the Panthers are playing right now.
At Carolina as well.
Ooh. Panthers.
Yeah.
Panthers.
On the drum.
Yeah, Cam Newton always seems to play better at home. He always seems to play better off of a loss as well. So I'm going to take the Panthers.
Panthers.
Okay, that's a sweep on the
Wow.
Panthers that we're paying on the Vikings. Are only their 3rd loss of the year. Another 10-2 team in the Eagles taking on the Rams at 9-3. 2 of the better offenses in the league, 2 of the better defenses in the league. What you got?
I have confidence. I'm going to say the Eagles.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, I think the Eagles kind of got sent back to earth last week against the Seahawks. So I got the Rams as well. Jared Goff's gonna
Wow.
light it up.
I got
I'm going Rams.
Wow. You guys don't think Carson Wentz is going to
No.
bounce back?
I don't know.
Not
It's
at this point.
it's the battle
No,
of the
it-
number 1 and 2 picks from 2 years ago. So we'll see. We'll see who's better.
We'll find out. Well, I'll let you know. I'll text you.
Finally, throwing an AFC team in the mix here. We got the 8-4 Jaguars at home versus the Seahawks. Both teams, I believe, coming off a win. Who you got in that one?
Seahawks, hands down.
Seahawks.
I'm just saying the Jaguars to be different.
I got faith in my Jaguars.
Why you gotta be
Oh,
like
Let's
that?
get
Why
another
you gotta be
cat
like
into the
that?
mix since the
Why
Lions
you
are
gotta be
done.
like
Well, guys, I want to thank you. It has been an incredible few weeks for us getting our show off the ground back here at BG, live from the Cooling Center. It has been the Swoop. Make sure you stay tuned and you come back with us after winter break. We will prepare our questions, our topics, and our answers to your guys' questions with #swoopin. It is BG's The Swoop. I'm your host, Autumn Stevens. We have Zach Carrion, Cameron Flynn, and Ryan Strodeback. Have a great night, everybody.